Hey, good morning. Welcome to Thinking is Contagious. Fraud vitiates everything. Have you heard that? Fraud vitiates everything. That was a Supreme Court ruling in a case, United States versus Throckmorton. And it had to do with a land dispute, so it's not apples to apples. But it's an interesting concept, isn't it? Fraud vitiates everything, which means fraud negates everything, which means you can cancel something based on being derived from fraudulently. And that was a Supreme Court ruling. So there's precedent as to fraud. Why do I bring this up? I bring this up because what we're basically seeing here is a pursuit of the proof of fraud and a vigilant, never-ending, unceasing, ceaseless pursuit of finding the truth. Is there fraud in this election? And I guess that is the question. I mean, we've got Attorney Sidney Powell standing her ground saying, I don't put my name behind something that I don't know is true. And she continues with her efforts to bring forth the evidence and the proof of fraud in this election. Donald Trump refusing to concede, and Donald Trump doubling down on investigations, having his legal team leave no stone unturned in order to bring forth, if there exists evidence of fraud. And I think we can understand why. Because even though the Electoral College has certified the electoral votes, and Biden is being called by all, including Mitch McConnell, who's a swamp creature, but I'm not angry about him saying that Biden is the president-elect. I think that it's part of the narrative, it's part of the plan, it's part of the pathway. You know, if fraud is proven in the next 3 weeks, if we have something that we can present to the American people that this election was fraudulently given to Joe Biden and the Democrats, what clearer or more distinct evidence of having not revolted against Biden's certification by saying, you know, McConnell went before the Senate and congratulated Biden and Harris based on the certification. But guess what? Since that certification, this evidence has come out. So this is an effort by Trump and his legal team to find evidence of fraud, evidence which can be validated by a court, preferably courts, several courts. And that's why you're still seeing these individual lawsuits proceeding through the system, why you're still seeing tremendous investigations going on, why you are still seeing evidence being brought forward in an effort to shed light and get backing, get traction for the premise that this election, there was voter fraud in this election, which is my opinion 100% that there was voter fraud in this election, and that Joe Biden did not win this election, but that Donald Trump won this election by a large margin. And that's my belief. That's my instinctual gut belief based on what I have read and seen and heard. I don't think that Joe Biden got 81 million votes. I really don't. I don't think that he elicits that kind of response. So that's where I'm at with it. We are going to find out in the next 2 or 3 weeks what's going on. But I will tell you this. If evidence is found and courts validate said evidence. Come January 6th, when the legislature sits down for the final step in the Biden administration, Biden presidency being cemented, there's going to be people who stand up. Famous like a church in a wedding. If anyone has any reason why this wedding should not be consummated, please stand and state your facts. The same thing's going to happen here. And there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of senators, a lot of congressmen who are going to say, there's fraud. We're not in accord. And then it becomes a debate. It becomes a debate among the legislature as to how they're going to vote. And believe me, nothing is going to empower, embolden the opposition, the pro-Trump forces more than having court cases saying, yes, there was fraud. Yes, there was evidence of fraud. If that occurs, you will see the Senate overturn and vote for Trump to be the president and Biden's victory be negated. And it will end up in the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court. And both sides will take their chances at that point. But I can tell you that the reason that you are seeing no give up, no waving of the white flag, is because Trump believes in his heart that he was robbed. He is a businessman, an entrepreneur, a bully, and he will not be bullied. And he will fight this. As long as he thinks there's reason to fight it, he will fight it until the very end. So, is it a long shot? Yeah, it's a long shot. But I don't think it really is a long shot. I'll tell you why. Because if you believe there was fraud, it's not a long shot. If you believe there was fraud, this has to be cleared up. Because the reputation and the stake of this nation is on the line in the eyes of the world. If there was fraud, this has to be cleared up, because there's nothing to stop the left from their continued voter fraud schemes. Okay? They are the ones who want no signature identification. They are the ones who want no ID identification. They are the ones who want to relax every standard to vote. They're the ones who want to add states. They're the ones who want to pack the Supreme Court. They are the ones that want the masses to control the country, which thinking is contagious. Think, the founding fathers, their biggest fear, what was it? That the republic would be controlled by the masses. That is what you see. That is the danger that you face. And that is what we are fighting and what Trump is fighting and we need to fight. The country cannot be controlled by the masses. The masses are not educated enough to control this country. They are easily bought and they are easily influenced with just crumbs. Bread and circuses. The crumbs. We need people, we need this country to remain the democratic republic the founding fathers envisioned when they founded it, and we need this country to be governed under the rules of a republic, of a democratic republic. We need to make sure that whoever had the most votes November 3rd is the President of the United States. That's Biden. That's Biden. But let's prove it. Let's look at the evidence. Let's leave no stone unturned. They have subpoenaed the Dominion machines. That's a huge step. The subpoena of the Dominion machines. The results of that subpoena and the investigation into those machines could be the smoking gun that opens this up to it being debated on the Senate floor January 6th. It's not over, but it better be fair. And if Biden won, he won. I don't care. But you know what? I take my cue from the guy who's been right 90% of what he has said, Donald Trump. You can only find very few instances where what he has said has not come to fruition, including anything and everything to do with the vaccines for COVID-19. In the face of critics, adversity, of enemies who said it was a pipe dream, that it would be a miracle, that it is impossible. The fraud Fauci said 12 to 18 months for a vaccine would be the best case scenario, and he didn't think it could be achieved in that time frame. Donald Trump said, we will have it by the end of the year. He is right. He was right. He was right when he said schools didn't need to be closed. He was right when he shut down China travel. He was right when he said that people, the shutdowns that were being enacted, the statewide shutdowns, the massive shutdowns, were not necessary and were not effective. Okay? He was right. And the bottom line is that everything that he has said for 4 years, he has either done or attempted to do, in spite of the opposition, in spite of the hatred, in spite of the mandate and the agenda of the swamp. Don't give up. Keep fighting. There's a shot. January 6th, there's a shot. Thank you.